Black kettle, white antelope, all of those people said, this is our homeland, but it's big enough to share. And the problem has always been the lack of reciprocity. And hopefully a comprehensive truth, justice, reconciliation, and peace process can bring us to grips with that. Because without it, Earth Day's not going to mean anything. And justice is not going to mean anything. And so again, I want to thank Craig and the DPL for having this forum. And I really thank you for your question, because it is possible. If it's possible in Guatemala or Rwanda or East Timor, there's no reason it's not possible here. Thank you.
And I just wanted to add to that, you know, your question about approaching it in a spiritual way, I think it's pretty wonderful that Craig brought all of us together. Craig, an artist, did this. So I think through art there's tremendous amount of healing, and your beautiful poem, and I think art is such a strong link for everybody, because it allows us to look at something and continue to see multiple layers of it through the years, and it's just a wonderful thing that you've done here today, Craig. Thank you very much.
Ultimately, an outstanding success in enriching our perspectives, in widening and bouncing off the envelope. I think it also is very telling, and in an educational manner, as far as from whence some of the perspectives come, and the very diverse degrees and manners in which any event, historical, contemporary, thinking about the future, that are informed. You know, in so many ways that aren't represented even obviously up here at this table today. As I said once before, it's really easy, and I think what I'll personally leave you with is it's extremely easy for historians especially, and perhaps advocates as well, to look at events, to look at macro narratives, to look at to any more generalized conclusions or descriptions, characterizations in manners that hide the individual story and the individual narrative or experience, even though they may attempt not to do so. But today I think we've seen, perhaps especially in Antoinette's poem, that very singular telling brings you back to a human level. And I think at Sand Creek, as the Cheyenne and Arapaho were sapped of their humanity, at least in those 6 to 8 hours of destruction, that the humanity has to live in that individual story and experience. And if we miss that by virtue of addressing it as an historical event or part of a larger narrative, that in fact then we haven't learned anything from that experience whatsoever. And that's a travesty in itself.
Painful wounds have been ripped open here today, and I think we need to look now at the healing and how does that go about. And the first thing, of course, is talking about it and discussing it and thinking about it and trying to keep our minds open on how to deal with this. Teaching history, it dawns on me often. We have one chapter on Indians, then we're through with them. where they've been here for 15,000 years and we've been here, what, for 200 or something like that. I think I was most impressed by what Rose Fredericks had to say about the healing business of art and the wonderful new Native Arts collection at the Denver Art Museum right now. And the most touching little plaque I saw there said, "Gift of Ann Evans."
When I was listening to all the discussion and the questions from everybody, I just kept thinking, how can we get over this? And not just here, not just Sand Creek. How do we get over this? And how do we heal? And it may be art. It may be that spirit that comes through in the nonverbal way that that really can start the conversation. And I think there needs to be more of it in school and more understanding of it for people, and just exposing yourself to art and better understanding it. And
He said, well, it's just this little thing at the library on Sunday afternoon. So I had like, I was talking to Craig earlier, I thought it was going to be 10 people. You know? I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad that it wasn't. And it wasn't an academic panel. I mean, it may have been arranged in a more Western way than a lot of indigenous gatherings, but it wasn't a Western academic panel. And I'm thankful for that. I think most of us have been on Western academic panels and rue the day. And so I'm thankful for that. But my hope is that it is a beginning, because otherwise I'll be sorry I came. And we've been on these panels before. Not this panel, but similar kinds of panels. But my hope is that the spirit of this piece, of this day, may really serve as some kind of an impetus for us to take seriously the hard work that this takes. The truth telling, the justice, the reconciliation, the peace, that's hard work. And one of the hardest things is confronting our privilege.